Hey everyone, Joe Shap here, and today I have a video for you on a new factory game called Alchemy Factory. It just came out on Steam on December 12th, 2025, and the game is currently sitting at a very positive rating with 90% positive reviews with 874 total reviewers. And it's still in early access, and the developer says they want to add a lot of new features over time, so it should just keep getting better. But it's already in a state that's a lot of fun. If you like factory games like Factorio and Satisfactory, I think you'll really enjoy this one. With that sort of game intro out of the way, let's get into the main substance of the video. So here I'm going to show you how I make unlimited coins and unlimited XP for free, basically. So 100% margin. So I'm making 6 gold coins per minute. It's almost 150 per like in-game day, and I'm doing this with no cost. And the reason it's unlimited is because I'm just making the coins. I don't rely on customers and how much of my products they want to buy on a given day. Um, if I want to make twice as much, I can just make this whole thing again. I can I can make unlimited copies of this setup by just making more floors and and copying and pasting it. So making the gold coins out of gold bars out of gold dust, and I'm making gold dust out of polished crystals, diamonds, and flax. So um, it's important that the cauldron is backed up. The inputs to the cauldron are backed up because it's an automatic processor. So if one of these goes empty while the others are still flowing, the others can like fill up additional slots and start making junk instead of pure gold dust that I want. So again, I need the inputs to be backed up. Um, and all of these inputs are actually just being made out of plants fueled by growth potions, and then heat for the furnaces is fueled by black powder. So the way that's possible for these polished crystals and diamonds to be made by plants is that I have plants making broken shards in cauldrons using Gentian, Gentian Nectar, and Lavender. The just quick note: the Gentian plant makes both of these, um, like at a 1-to-1 ratio. It makes 50% of each. So it's ideal to use both, unless you want to trash one, which I prefer not to. But this recipe is good for broken shards. And then once you have broken shards, you can make any of the sort of like processed broken shards, in this case, polished crystals and diamonds. One of these setups doesn't make enough, so I have more of these setups. So I'll bring in the polished shards, and then some of the polished shards turn into diamonds. So I have a bunch of these setups all coming together. And that means I need a lot of growth potions and a lot of black powder. The way that I make the growth potions of black powder, I'll show you a standalone system. It's right here. So it's making 40 growth potions per minute and about 38 black powder per minute. And all it takes as input is growth potions and black powder. So it's consuming part of what it produces, and then it's got a priority splitter to split out the excess. Once it's done feeding itself, it splits out the excess, and then I can take that excess and fuel all sorts of like cauldron recipes and stuff. So if you see, or one thing you might notice is that this scales directly with the fuel efficiency and the fertilizer efficiency upgrades. I prioritize fertilizer, but both are important. And the more points of those you have, the more excess you'll have, because the less the less you'll need to consume to keep this running, because each one will be more powerful. And you'll see my nutrient value for growth potions is now over 30,000 for each one. And my heat value for black powder is 9,600, almost 10,000. So these can go pretty far. And if I make enough of these setups and connect them together, I get a full belt, 240 per minute these can fuel a lot of things. And so obviously I can make unlimited money, but I don't actually need money for most of what I do because I'm relying on these. So what's actually maybe more interesting than money is getting XP for more upgrade points. So I'm making about 1 Mercury per 10 minutes. And this is all of these are fueled with different cauldron recipes where all they need is growth potions and black powder to fuel plants. So you can see that the Lapiz Lazuli, the blue gem, it's just using 2 of these crystals plus some cheap flax. And the crystals are just coming from some more of these broken shards. And there's all these other recipes, like some of the cheaper ones, like this turquoise, for example, just chamomile powder, flax. Yeah, so the paradox crucible for making these, just make it out of lavender. All right, so now I'll show you this tool for finding cauldron recipes that I use. So in the Alchemy Factory Codex website, you go to the calculators and the cauldron calculator. And then here you just select whatever output you want. So for example, like if I wanted this pure gold dust, and then we see it needs a certain value. We try to get it, like we're trying to like add up to around that value with the inputs. Although you can also look at like what are the suggested recipes. Looks like if I can get the value to like at least like 66 or 70,000, it should try to make this. As long as I'm using different items. If you use duplicate ingredients, it's fine, but sometimes it counts them for less value. But I can also see like these aren't the types of things that are readily available to me. Adamant is, and polished crystals and diamonds are, but we want all 3 ingredients to be like easy. So it's like um, the diamond will get us pretty close. Okay, it looks like we need some more value. So maybe could try like the second most valuable one, adding an adamant to it. Okay, so this would make us just need a flax, but this maybe is more expensive than necessary. So let's see if we go down 1 tier and polished crystal. Okay, we can still just do this with flax. So this is the recipe I use, and that's kind of how I found it. For the very cheap stuff, like so for anything that's a broken shard cost or higher, I just use like broken shards or their sort of processed next steps, like the crystals. For anything lower, like say, um, I don't know, let's say salt, I guess. So it's 65, which means that like chamomile or chamomile powder, probably good. Like, I guess ideally we could skip the grinding step. And it looks like chamomile and flax will also, it looks like at a certain point you can see it's basically the cheapest stuff. Chamomile and anything and 2 other cheap things will do the trick. And so when that's the case, you typically I like to use flax and flax fiber or flax and sage. Um, and that's just some cheap plants. So that's how I find recipes. So yeah, hopefully this was useful for you, even if you like to do things a little bit differently in your factories. Hopefully some of these principles and like tips for how to use cauldrons will be helpful. Um, and remember to keep your inputs backed up for your cauldrons so that they keep automatically processing as you want them to. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I'll try to respond. Cheers.